Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Emily Bennett. Tonight we begin in Pike County, where the community came together to voice concerns of an addiction recovery center coming to town. Pikeville held a forum at the Appalachian Wireless Arena to discuss the concerns people have. I talked to many concerned people, but the CEO of the center says he just wants to help the community. A room packed.
Why this house? Why our community?
Full of differing ideas about Edgewater Recovery Center coming to the Cedar Creek area of Pikeville.
I understand their concerns. I'm not here to try to cause any kind of controversy. I certainly understand their fears and their concerns.
Edgewater has been in operation for a couple years in Rowan County and experienced similar pushback at the start.
2 years later, we have a lot of support in the community. We're welcomed in the community.
They are a residential treatment facility, trying to keep a family lifestyle throughout treatment. But some people in Cedar Creek are concerned about the safety, what kind of people it will bring in, and if more drugs will hit the streets.
I just do not think it is a good thing to put where you all are asking to put it. Do we need these facilities? Yes, Pike County needs them. We just don't need them in Cedar Creek.
Serious concerns about their safety for their children. And we have all worked really hard to be safe. Really, really hard.
Others think it could help the community.
I would much rather have a facility like this that's going to be controlled the way it's going to be controlled than to have them cooking crystal meth on these very streets that you guys are talking about.
The CEO trying to assure people he has all the safety precautions in place.
Everyone is just kind of fearful because of the stigma of addiction.
Wanting to start to mend a drug-filled community. Now, Edgewater does not accept drug addicts who were former sex offenders or have a history of violence. And they hope to have the facility open March 1st. And new at 11, deputies in Bell County say they arrested multiple people on burglary charges. They say the men stole from the same family who lost 4 loved ones earlier this month. You may remember Beulah Mullins and her 3 grandchildren died in an early morning fire on January 7th. Deputies say less than 24 hours later, these men, Dylan and Ralph Nichols, broke into a camper belonging to the grandmother. The two tried to pawn off stolen guns at a nearby pawn shop. They were found on the same property yesterday and were arrested. Now officials say the two had nothing to do with the fire itself. They were taken to the Bell County Detention Center. Bowling Green assistant teacher and baseball coach has been charged with sexting. Attorney General Daniel Cameron says LaVance Anderson was sent sexually explicit messages to what he thought was a minor. Investigators say it was an undercover detective posing as a child online. They say Anderson also sent images of himself and asked for similar ones from the undercover detective. Police say Anderson worked as the junior high school baseball coach and instructional assistant at an elementary school. He has since been suspended. Today wrapped up the first day of a Perry County murder trial taking place in Knott County. James McIntosh is accused of killing Danny Mullins last year. McIntosh's lawyers say it was self-defense. McIntosh was visibly shaken up in court today at times. Today, during the trial, there were several witnesses from Kentucky State Police forensic scientists to detectives who worked the scene on Forcine Branch Road. Today, we also heard the roughly 30-minute interview with McIntosh on the day of his arrest. The state medical officials say Mullins had been shot 8 times, 3 of those being in the head.
So if he was standing in what we call the standard anatomical position, which is, I'll show you, it's standing up with your arms out like this, and the bullet was going like this.
They also called a man to the stand today who lives in Forcine and heard shots ring out around the time of the shooting. The trial wrapped up just before 6 this evening and will continue tomorrow at about lunchtime.
And we've seen those rain chances move into the mountains this evening, and that's going to continue as we head into the overnight hours and into tomorrow as well. You can see Interstate 64 in Moorhead becoming a little bit more soggy, especially after that sun set over there and over into Whitesburg. I think we're still on the dry side over there, those lower 50s, so a lot warmer than we have been the past few nights. And those temperatures, they range anywhere from those lower 50s to those mid to upper 40s, even some spots into the upper 30s. So seeing a wide range of temperatures from from Danville to Hazard, even all the way Dover into Pikeville as well. Looking at pinpoint Doppler though, over the past hour or so, you're seeing some heavier bands of rain along I-75, especially into Laurel County. Now some starting to move into parts of the Cumberland Valley, while the rest of us are just dealing with scattered rain chances. But those scattered rain chances will become more widespread as we head into the overnight hours and as we head into tomorrow. We'll break down tomorrow's soggy forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Thank you, Paige. Now, many school districts across southern and eastern Kentucky are not in session for the rest of the week. In Clay County, they are taking their second 4-day weekend in a row, hoping to help improve attendance numbers and student health. One mother who has 5 kids in the Clay County School District is incredibly happy with the call and hopes parents get smarter about sending their kids to school sick.
If that child is complaining, that child's got a fever, you can tell that child's sick, that child needs to go in. That child does not need to be in the school with my kids so they can pack it back home to mine that can't fight it off.
Clay County schools are expected to be back in session on Monday. We had some more closing come through tonight. You can find a full list on our website over on WYMT.com. In response to the Marshall County shooting, lawmakers passed a bill last year to improve school safety. During this session, they're hoping to improve that bill. A bill would now head to the Senate floor. That would require every school resource officer to carry a firearm. It passed out of a Senate committee today with every member voting yes. The bill sponsor says the bill is designed to keep students safe.
We're not arming teachers, we're not going down that path, but if we're putting sworn law enforcement officers, they will have a gun. And I think that the expectation of parents is that that officer will be equipped with a firearm.
The bill would also set up mental health services like suicide prevention and anti-bullying. Now, it's all about protection and preparation. That is what Floyd County Sheriff deputies said when asked about the department's new training initiative. Church members are invited to the department's annex building to train on their simulated response equipment to better prepare for potential threats to their congregations. The idea came from concerned church members who asked Sheriff John Hunt if the department had any advice for staying safe from outside forces. Deputies say the training scenarios are serious and the process is meant to help people feel more prepared to take on anything.
And the churches that we've talked to so far, they have willing people, that's willing to fight to protect their family and their church family, and that's what we're looking for.
To register for one of the sessions, contact the Floyd County Sheriff's Office. And one Corbin family is in need of a new wheelchair accessible vehicle for their family. Abby is a 9-year-old girl who struggles with lifelong effects from shaken baby syndrome. Not only does she suffer daily seizures and cerebral palsy, but she has even already had a stroke. Her family says while they are thankful she continues to grow, as she gets bigger, it is becoming nearly impossible to lift her in and out of their SUV. The biggest blessing, they say, would be to get a wheelchair accessible vehicle, but it is something they cannot afford at the moment.
But also to be able to do all of our adventures that we want to do. It would just be such a blessing.
If you would like to donate, you can reach out to Mary Barnett on Facebook for details. LG&E Kentucky Utilities are making one giant step forward for solar energy generation in Kentucky. The company filed today with the Kentucky Public Service Commission for approval of 3 contracts in the hopes of building the largest solar array in the Bluegrass. 2 contracts for power agreements with Toyota Motor Manufacturing and Dow Silicones Corporation. The 3rd contract is for the power purchase agreement for a new solar facility to be built in Hardin County. Now, 2009 Super Bowl champion and MVP Drew Brees is coming to the mountains. He will be on the University of the Cumberland's campus April 7th. The Saints quarterback is heading to the college as their keynote speaker for their annual Excellence in Leadership series. Last year, Terry Bradshaw was on campus. The year before that, Shaquille O'Neal. Tickets go on sale starting March 2nd. An icon in the animal kingdom is celebrating a big milestone today. Fiona the hippo turns 3. Fiona and the Cincinnati Zoo celebrated the day with a cake thanks to today's warmer temperatures. The party was held outside. Fiona won the hearts of Cincinnatians when she fought to survive after being born nearly 6 weeks early. Voted #1 Cincinnatian for the past 2 years and nominated again this year. It's no surprise that there will be multiple parties to celebrate all things Fiona. Coming up at 11, tens of millions of people are on lockdown in China as fears of the spreading coronavirus continue.
And soggy weather continues tonight and into your Friday, but how long will it last? I'll have that answer coming up.